Imagine finding out your top performing sales rep just put in their 2 weeks
Oh,
notice.
the absolute dread.
You're right. You panic a little bit, but then you think, okay, well, we have a world-class customer relationship management system. The data is safe.
Yeah, you assume everything is logged.
Exactly. So you open your dashboard to, reassign their top 20 clients, and the profiles are just completely empty.
Just zero context.
Nothing. No recent messages, no history, because for the last 3 years, those million-dollar deals haven't been happening on your expensive corporate software.
No, they've been happening in secret, right on the personal cell phone sitting in your employee's pocket.
And, well, welcome to the deep dive. That exact scenario is playing out in almost every major company right now.
It really is. The formal maps of, how business gets done are just completely out of sync with reality.
So today, we're exploring this massive shift in how commerce operates. And specifically, we're looking at a brand called Timelines AI. They've built this rather ingenious bridge across this exact void.
Yeah, the sheer scale of the shift is, honestly, it's hard to wrap your head around at first.
It is. Because if you manage a team, you might think of WhatsApp as just, that app where your family group chat lives.
Or where you coordinate lunch plans with the team.
Right, exactly. Just casual stuff.
But that is a really dangerous underestimation of the current landscape.
How so?
Well, as of early 2026, we are looking at a platform with 3 billion monthly active users.
Wow. That's what, over a third of the entire human population?
Yeah, but the business metric, like the one that keeps sales directors awake at night, is that 175 million people are messaging a business account on WhatsApp every single day.
Every day. That is insane. Let's put that in perspective against traditional sales channels, like the ones you might be using right now.
Oh, it completely blows them out of the water.
Right, because if you run a targeted emails campaign, what's considered a highly successful open rate?
Maybe 20, maybe 25% on a good day.
Yeah, exactly. And if a client actually replies, the industry average response time is usually over 6 hours.
Best case scenario.
You send a WhatsApp message, and the open rate sits between 95 and 98%.
It's basically guaranteed they read it.
And the response time is just 45 to 90 seconds.
Which just alters the entire cadence of a transaction.
Yeah.
I mean, email is asynchronous.
Right. People treat it like a chore, like something they'll get to eventually.
Exactly. But a chat app feels urgent. It feels direct and intimate.
But there's a catch, right?
A massive one. This incredible speed and, preference for chatting creates a staggering blind spot.
The industry currently calls it the invisible channel.
Because the sales reps are just using their own personal devices. They're closing deals, negotiating terms, troubleshooting problems, all completely off the grid.
So the company has literally zero visibility into the actual mechanics of the sale.
Zero visibility and zero accountability. There's no sync to the corporate database at all.
Which means if I'm your employee and I walk out the door tomorrow, I take 3 years of nuanced client relationship history with me.
Yep. You don't know who prefers a morning meeting. You don't know who is ready to upgrade their contract.
Or who is currently furious about a missed delivery.
It's gone. It's like running a high-end restaurant where the waitstaff just memorizes every single order.
Oh, that sounds like a nightmare.
Right. They never write a single ticket for the kitchen. Food somehow reaches the tables, but the moment a waiter goes on break, the whole system collapses.
Because no one knows who ordered the steak medium rare.
Or who has a severe peanut allergy.
Exactly. And a broken restaurant is bad, but a broken compliance system is a multi-million-dollar liability.
Oh, absolutely. In regulated sectors like finance or healthcare or insurance, this invisible channel is basically a ticking time bomb.
Because the regulators are stepping in.
Big time. Since 2021, regulatory bodies have handed out over $2 billion in fines specifically for off-channel communications.
$2 billion, just for texting off the grid.
Yeah. Recently, the SEC fined a group of firms nearly $400 million for record-keeping failures tied entirely to personal messaging apps.
So it's not just a matter of a manager wanting to snoop on their sales team. Legally, you are required to have those records.
You have to have them.
Which makes me wonder about the obvious solution here. I mean, if the fines are that steep, why haven't these multi-billion-dollar banks just officially plugged WhatsApp into their corporate systems?
Well, to understand that barrier,
Yeah.
we need to look at how Meta, the parent company, actually built the system.
Okay, lay it out for us.
The standard, sanctioned way to connect to a corporate dashboard is through the official WhatsApp Business API.
Let's pause there to just define that for a second. An API, an application programming interface, is basically a digital toll booth, right?
That is the perfect way to picture it, yeah.
It's the official front door that a software company provides so external software can safely interact with it.
And Meta's toll booth is incredibly strict. I mean, for good reason.
Hmm.
They want to prevent spam and protect the everyday user experience.
Sure, nobody wants spam texts.
But for business, going through that official front door is just excruciating. It requires dedicated developer resources.
And a lot of patience, I'm guessing.
Oh, weeks of waiting for Meta to review and approve your specific use case. Plus, you get charged per conversation fees.
Wow, okay.
And the absolute biggest hurdle, the deal breaker for many, is that you have to register a brand new, sterile corporate phone number.
Wait, I see the friction there immediately.
Yeah.
So a sales rep who has spent, the last 3 years texting a high-value client from their personal number suddenly has to message them and say, hey, please delete my contact info and start using this new impersonal corporate line.
Yes, it forces the employee to completely abandon their established client identity.
That's awful. The drop-off in communication must be immense.
It is because clients just ignore the new number. They don't recognize it, so they assume it's spam.
Right, so that incredibly steep technical and personal barrier is the exact market condition that allowed Timeline's AI to step in.
Exactly. They took a completely different architectural approach to solve the problem.
So they didn't just build another toll booth.
No. Instead of forcing companies through Meta's official corporate toll booth, they built a middleware layer that uses QR code mirroring.
Okay, wait. I use WhatsApp Web on my laptop all the time to type faster.
Right. Most people do.
You just open the site, point your phone's camera at the screen, scan the QR code, and suddenly all your chats are mirrored on your computer. Is that the same underlying mechanism?
It is the exact same mechanism.
Yeah.
Timeline's AI essentially acts as a sophisticated digital version of your laptop browser.
Oh, that is clever.
An employee simply scans a QR code generated by the platform, and within 2 minutes, their existing WhatsApp account is continuously mirrored and synced directly into the company's CRM.
So like Salesforce or HubSpot or Pipedrive.
Exactly.
So they completely bypass the corporate toll booth, no meta approval process, no developers, no per message fees. And most importantly, the sales rep gets to keep using the exact same phone number and chat history they've always used.
Which fundamentally shifts how companies can leverage this data. I mean, we see users in the banking sector praising how it just takes one simple scan to get up and running.
Because it's frictionless.
Yeah. A financial services manager even noted that until these casual conversations were registered as measurable activities in their system, they were just impossible to control.
I want to drill into that distinction for a second because a note in a corporate database is not the same thing as an activity.
No, completely different.
If I just type, spoke to client, they seem happy, that's just dead text sitting on a page.
Doesn't do anything.
Right. But an integrated real-time message acts as a trigger. It can automatically move a deal forward in a sales pipeline.
It can generate an accurate performance report.
Or alert a manager if a response time drops below a certain standard.
It transforms a static silo of personal chat into actionable, company-wide intelligence.
Okay, but hold on. Let's think about the actual physical mechanics here.
Sure.
If this entire enterprise system is tethered to a physical smartphone via a QR code, what happens if the phone battery dies?
Oh.
Or the rep drops their phone in a lake? Does the entire corporate integration just crash?
It does, completely.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that is the fundamental constraint of this David versus Goliath architecture. Because the system is mirroring the device, the physical phone remains the single source of truth.
So if the phone is down, the system is down.
If it loses power or cellular connection, the data flow stops dead. There was actually this reviewer who shared a story about going on a remote vacation.
Oh no, I can see where this is going.
Yeah, when they landed and lost carrier coverage, their phone went dark. But because they were the primary administrator for this setup, they unintentionally knocked their entire team's WhatsApp integration offline back at the office.
Imagine sitting on a bench, having a cocktail, completely unaware you just blinded your entire sales department.
They actually had to scramble to find a local electronics store, buy a prepaid SIM card, and get the phone back online just to restore the company's connection.
That is wild. It really highlights a precarious setup. You basically trade enterprise-grade stability for instant, frictionless adoption.
You do. It's a calculated risk.
It almost sounds like a hack. Like, is Meta just going to shut this down with a software update tomorrow?
Well, many businesses are willing to take that risk. And it's important to note, Timeline's AI isn't doing anything malicious. They are leveraging an existing public-facing web protocol.
The same one millions use every day.
Right. And for companies that eventually outgrow that risk, the platform does offer an API coexistence feature.
Oh, so you can upgrade later.
Yeah, you can migrate to the official Meta tollbooth later without losing your workspace setup.
But for thousands of small to mid-sized teams, that QR code workaround is really the only viable path to getting their data out of the dark.
Okay, so let's look at what happens after you make that trade-off. You scan the code, your phone is connected.
But if you just dump thousands of raw text messages into a corporate dashboard, that sounds, well, completely overwhelming. How does the platform actually organize all this incoming noise?
That is where the middleware layer really proves its worth. Once scanned, the platform creates a multi-number shared inbox.
So bringing it all together.
Exactly. If you have 20 sales reps, all 20 of their individual WhatsApp streams are aggregated into one unified dashboard.
So a manager can see everything in real time.
Yes, they can tag specific conversations, they can reassign a chat from an offline rep to someone who is currently working, and they can track average response times across the entire team.
And they can send out mass messages too, right? Like you could upload a spreadsheet of 500 past clients and send them all a personalized text from the specific rep they usually talk to.
You can. Plus, there's a Chrome extension that lets you initiate a WhatsApp chat from any website you are browsing.
Oh, skipping the whole tedious process of saving a contact in your phone first. I hate doing that.
It saves so much time. Those are solid operational upgrades. But the feature that genuinely alters the daily workflow is the AI integration.
Ah, here we go.
They have embedded ChatGPT directly into this messaging ecosystem.
Which, sounds like buzzword bingo until you look at how it solves the specific chaos of a chat app.
Because WhatsApp threads aren't like email.
Not at all. They aren't neatly structured with a subject line and a formal sign-off. They are just endless, rambling streams of consciousness.
Yeah, a client might send 6 separate fragmented messages just to ask one simple question.
Right. So if a manager needs to step into an escalated support ticket, reading 2 years of a back-and-forth chat history is an impossible task.
Exactly. And that's where the AI integration comes in. It's designed to read that specific thread and instantly generate a concise summary.
That alone is huge.
But it also performs sentiment analysis, alerting you if a customer is showing subtle signs of frustration based on their word choice.
Wow.
And it can operate as a 24/7 smart autoresponder.
But how does it know what to say? Because the fear with AI is always hallucination, right? Like that it will promise a client a discount you don't offer, or worse, recommend a competitor's product by accident.
It avoids that because it's strictly restricted to the context of the chat and the specific parameters the business sets.
So it has guardrails?
Strong ones.
Yeah.
It isn't pulling random information from the wider internet. It's instructed to qualify leads or answer frequently asked questions based strictly on your provided corporate data.
There is a use case that perfectly illustrates this. A CEO at a marketing firm set up an automation where any new lead generated from his online ads is instantly routed into a WhatsApp chat.
Okay.
But a human doesn't answer. ChatGPT takes the wheel.
Just takes over completely.
Completely. The AI texts the prospect immediately, asks qualifying questions, responds to their specific needs, and if they fit the ideal customer profile, the AI sends a calendar link to book a meeting.
That is incredible.
The human sales rep is completely unaware this is happening until a qualified discovery call pops up on their schedule.
I mean, think about the efficiency of that mechanism. The AI is actively walking a prospect down the sales funnel in a channel where that prospect expects a reply in under 90 seconds.
And it's doing the heavy lifting of lead qualification at 2 in the morning?
It's essentially an invisible assistant sitting on your shoulder. It reads your incoming messages, figures out the intent, drafts the perfect response, and secures the meeting while your phone is still in your pocket.
It's easy to look at that level of AI automation and assume this is just a luxury tool for, Silicon Valley tech startups with huge budgets.
That's a common misconception.
But the demographic reality of who relies on this platform is completely different. The actual growth engine is coming from markets where WhatsApp isn't just an app.
Right, it's the fundamental infrastructure of the economy.
You're talking about Latin America.
Yes.
The dominance of WhatsApp down there is just staggering. It hasn't just grown alongside SMS and email, it has actively cannibalized them.
Completely replace them.
In Brazil, 99% of the population uses the platform.
I mean, try getting 99% of any country to agree on anything.
It's basically unheard of, and up to 80% of those users are actively communicating with companies through the app.
The cultural behavior is just entirely different from North America or Europe.
How so?
Historically, SMS was expensive in these regions, and email infrastructure wasn't as reliable as the low data efficiency of WhatsApp.
Ah, that makes sense.
So in Brazil or Mexico, you don't email a doctor to book an appointment. You don't browse a complex website to order groceries.
You send a WhatsApp message.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A local bakery will send you a PDF menu and a chat. You reply with your order, and you send a payment confirmation receipt right back in that same thread.
Everything happens in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So for a small or medium-sized business operating in that environment, a tool like Timelines AI, which costs somewhere between $10 and $25 per user a month.
It isn't some shiny software upgrade.
No, it's the plumbing.
It is survival. We actually looked at a financial company operating in Latin America that was trying to manually handle over 100 different WhatsApp accounts before implementing this system.
100 different phones.
Can you imagine the internal chaos of physically checking 100 different phones or browser tabs just to ensure client loans were being processed correctly?
It's a logistical nightmare.
Yeah.
Just absolutely paralyzing. And bringing order to that chaos is obviously a huge win for the management team.
Oh, massive. They finally have visibility.
But let's look at the human cost of that visibility for a second, because this introduces a really complex surveillance paradox.
It does. It gets tricky here.
Because for years, these sales reps have managed their client relationships on their personal devices. The tone is inherently informal.
They use emojis. They ask about the client's kids.
They build genuine rapport. They treat that device and those conversations as their own property. So when you roll out a tool that suddenly beams every single one of those intimate texts directly to a manager's dashboard, I mean, doesn't that create a stifling Big Brother environment?
Oh, it absolutely does. The technology solves the data gap, but it introduces a profound human friction.
I can imagine the pushback.
We've lived through this cultural battle before. When corporate email first became standardized and monitored, or when call centers first started recording phone calls for quality assurance, the workforce pushed back hard.
Right. Salespeople felt their autonomy was being stripped away.
Exactly. So throwing software at the problem doesn't fix the underlying trust issue.
If a manager suddenly starts critiquing a rep's use of a smiley face emoji in a client chat, you are going to destroy morale overnight.
Which means the rollout of a tool like this requires incredibly careful change management. Leadership has to draw clear boundaries about what is being monitored and why.
It's a behavioral transition.
It is. Moving WhatsApp from a private, siloed behavior into a shared corporate asset.
And that blur between personal and professional brings us to a final, underlying tension about the future of modern work.
It's the big takeaway here.
We've seen how Timelines AI illuminates the dark funnel, right? Bypassing corporate red tape with a QR code backdoor and injecting AI directly into the world's most dominant chat app. But it leaves a lingering puzzle.
It introduces a data ownership question that every professional is going to have to confront sooner rather than later.
Let's trace the mechanics we've explored today.
Okay.
If an employee uses their personal WhatsApp on their personal smartphone to conduct daily work conversations,
And a middleware tool automatically syncs those informal client chats into a corporate database.
who owns that relationship data?
That is the billion-dollar question.
Is it the employee who cultivated that relationship on their own private device?
Or is it the company who paid the employee's salary and provided the product being sold?
Or, from a purely technical standpoint, is it WhatsApp, whose servers facilitated the entire exchange?
Right. As the digital walls between our personal lives and our corporate obligations completely dissolve, this is a gray area that has no easy answers.
None at all.
It's a legal and operational frontier that will redefine business communication over the next decade.
It entirely changes the landscape. I mean, we started by looking at a map of a city where every interaction was supposed to be brightly lit and visible.
But the reality is, the city packed up and moved.
It relocated to a new, chaotic landscape built on instant messages, QR codes, and invisible AI assistants. And the streetlights are just now starting to come back on.
Well said.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning the systems around you, and we'll see you next time.